Wow, and just like that. I said it and it happened. Okay. Just as a heads up to the three of you, Leo, Tilly and Abby, you will be called up at random. You will be called up to do some reading. I was thinking Farsi or maybe Aramaic. Okay. We're live. Excellent. Welcome to everybody in person and online to our first Shabbat morning service of 2025. Okay, we are going to start on page 129, and if the congregation can please stand whilst you attempt to drown me out whilst we sing Ma Tovu. Ma Tovu Ohalecha Yaakov Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma Tovu Ohalecha Yaakov Mishkenotecha Israel. How lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. Through your great love, O God, I enter your house. With awe I worship in your sanctuary. Eternal God, I love the house where your glory dwells. Humbly I worship before my God and Maker. May my prayer be acceptable to you, eternal God. In your great kindness, answer me with your saving truth. Please be seated, and Tilly, go up here, quick. Go.
Source of light, of truth, of the impulsive within us towards justice and mercy. May this hour of worship be one of vision and inspiration. Help us to find knowledge by which to live. Let the words we speak enter our hearts and influence our lives. Bless all who enters this sanctuary in search of you or in need of comfort and consolation. May the offering of their hearts be acceptable to you, and may the prayers we utter here bear fruit in our acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. We praise you, eternal God. Read with me. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You sanctify us with your commandments and enjoin us to study your teaching. Abby, up you come. And if we can all read responsively with Abby when she gets up here. Okay, there you go.
With what shall I approach the eternal word?
How shall I worship the God of heaven?
Shall I come before God with burnt offering?
Or with yearling calves?
Will God be pleased with thousands of lambs?
Or with 10,000 rivers of oil?
Should I give my firstborn for my transgressions?
The fruit of my body for the sins of my soul?
People tell you what is good, but why does the eternal one require of you?
Only to do justly and love mercy and walk humbly with your God. Thank you. You didn't actually need that step, did you? Okay. If you can read with me at the from the bottom of page 131. Eternal God, may the words of Torah taste sweet to us and to all Israel, that we and our children and all the children of your people may come to know you by studying Torah. We praise you, O God, teacher of your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai hamelech Torah le'amo Yisrael. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam baruch hu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam ha'mecholel b'fi amo mishava mafa'ar b'lashon chastav v'aharav. Shavachot mirot megidlacha nimlachecha malchenu yachid chai ha'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai melech mecholel b'shtivachot. And if we read responsibly with Leo. Do you need the thing to stand on? No, you don't.
No.
God. Sorry, we're there, middle of page 132, Psalm 33. Okay.
Sing for joy to the Eternal One, you who are righteous.
For the upright do well to give praise.
Give thanks to the Eternal One with a lyre.
Make music to God with the 10-stringed harp.
Sing to God a new song.
Play well with shouts of joy.
For God's word holds good.
God's every deed is done in faithfulness.
The Eternal One loves the righteousness and justice.
The earth is full of God's kindness.
But the Eternal One's word, by the Eternal One's word, the heavens were made.
And all their host by the breath of God's mouth.
And at the divine command, the ocean's waves rise.
Gather instead in the vaults of the deep.
Let all the earth revere the Eternal One.
Let all who dwell there stand in awe of God.
Who spoke and it was.
Who commanded and it stood firm.
How shall I sing? Oh.
No, that's it. Sorry, yeah, you're fine.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Leo. Okay. And if we turn, if we turn to page 135, and please stand. Yishtabach Shemcha la'ad malkeinu ha'el ha'melech ha'gadol v'ha'kadosh v'shamayim u'va'aretz ki lacha na'eh Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu shir u'shpacha halel v'zimra v'rochot v'hodaot me'etav ad olam baruch atah Adonai ha'bocher b'shirei zimra. Together, Baruchu et Adonai hamvarach, Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Praise the one to whom our praise is due. Praise the Eternal One to whom our praise is due forever. And please be seated. Reading from page 136. We praise you, Eternal One, our God. Sorry. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, Maker of light and Creator of darkness, Author of peace and Creator of all things. In your mercy you give light to the earth and all who live on it, and in your goodness you renew creation continually, day by day. How manifold are your works, O God! With wisdom have you made them all. The world is full of your creations. Your handiwork proclaims your praise. Radiant stars bear witness to your glory. We praise you, O God, Creator of light. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMorot. And will please stand while Rebecca comes up to recite the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod V'Tov Le'olam Va'ed. After et Adonai Elohecha, Lavacha, Nafshecha, Chol Me'odecha, Hayu Hadronim Ha'ele,
ונתן לבניך, דיברת ושבתך בביתך, ולכתך ושכבך במקומך, ושרתם לאות על ידיך, ויהיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבת על בשעריך. Thank you. Please be seated. Try and drown me out again as I sing. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אמת ויציב וישר וקיים וטוב ויפה הדבר הזה עלינו לעולם ועד. אמת שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, מלכנו מלך אבותינו, יוצרנו צור ישועתנו, הודינו ומצלנו, מעולם הוא שמך, אין אלוהים זולתך. אמת אתה הוא ראשון ואתה הוא האחרון, מולדך אין לנו מעשה, ממצרים גאולתנו אדוני אלוהינו, ומבית עבדים הדיתנו. משה מרים ובני ישראל, לך ענו שירה בשמך רבה ואמרו כולם. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. שיר חדשה שבחו גאולים לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, מה בעזרת ישראל, גואלנו אדוני, צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל, גאל ישראל, Israel. If we can all please stand, turn to page 140 while Jonah leads us in the Amidah. Adonai sifaitai tiftachu fi agita hilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth shall declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu, V'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El HaGadol, HaGibor, VaHaGara, El Elyon, Gomel HaChasadim Tovim, Konei HaKol, Zocher Chasdei Avot Mibachot, מביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו בהר. מלך עוזר ומשיר מגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. הגיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה והושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד. חיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, מתיר אסירים ומקיים אמונתו לשם. Ele Afar.
Mocha Baal Gevurot Umi Domela Melech Meimit L'Chayei Tzmiach Yeshua
Reman Ata Lechirot. Tim
Ruch Ata Adonai Mechayei Hamitim. נקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום ככתוב על יד נביאך. קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות מלוא כל הארץ, כבודו, כבודו מלא עולם. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ממקומך מלכנו תופיע ותמליך עלינו כי מחכים אנחנו לך. לך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, דור ודור, הללויה. דור ודור נגיד גדלך, ולנצח נצחים קדשתך. נקדיש ושבחך עלינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. And please be seated. Tilly, you're up again.
You inspired our ancestors to hallow this day for your service. When upon its coming we pause to contemplate our life, we learn anew that we do not live by bread alone, but also by spiritual nourishment. We receive when we open ourselves to your influence. We thank you for the Sabbath day and for the opportunity it offers to enhance the eternity of our lives. We thank you for its joy and for its peace. May our worship help us to take into our hearts its message of holiness and consecrate all our days by devotion to what is true, beautiful, and good.
There it is. It's my voice, it's actually not working. Okay, is this better? Okay? Are we good? Okay. Yismachu b'malchutcha, Yismachu b'malchutcha, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg, Amikadshei Shvi'i, Amikadshei Shvi'i, Kulam Yispa'u v'yitnagu mitovecha, V'hashvi'i, V'hashvi'i, Ratzita bo v'kidashto, Chem dahat yamim, Chem dahat yamim, Oto karata, Zecher lamasei bereishit. Abby, you're up. Okay, go.
Our God and God of our ancestors, may our request on this day be blessing, pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Sanctify us with your goodness. Gladden us with your salvation and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your graciousness, love, eternal one, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel know who hallow your name. Be exhausted by its space.
Exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. Thank you. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amcha Yisrael, utefilatam ba'avat gabel v'tiyeh laratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai she'otecha levadcha b'yira na'avod. We praise your God, whom alone we worship in reverence. Modim anachnu lach she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu v'lahei avotenu le'elam va'ed. Sur chayenu magen yeshenu, atahu lador vador, nodelach v'nesaper tehilatecha, al chayenu hamasorim biyadecha, v'al nishmotenu hapkodot lach, v'al nisecha shebachol yom imanu, v'al niflotecha v'tovatecha, shebachol et erv boker v'tzoraim. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shemcha v'lacha ne'el lahodot. Praise your God, source of goodness, to whom are thanks. Leo. Sorry. Grant peace. Yeah, speak up.
Grant peace, welfare, and blessing, grace, love, and mercy to us and all Israel, your people. As a loving parent, bless us with the light of your presence, by the light of your presence, eternal God, you have revealed to us the law of life, a love of kindness and righteousness, blessing and mercy, life and peace. For it is good in your sight that your people, Israel, and all peoples, be blessed at all times with your gift of peace.
We praise your God, the source of peace. Baruch atah Adonai oseh shalom. Okay. We'll take a moment for silent contemplation of the last week, of the last year, of the upcoming year, of the upcoming week. Say shalom bimramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol bnei Adam. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol bnei Adam. Okay, we are going to continue with the Torah bit on page 481. Ein kamocha ba'alim Adonai ve'ein kamoshiyecha malchutecha malchut kol olameim u'mimshaltecha b'chol dor v'ador. Please stand, and if I can have Abby and Tilly up to open the ark. Abby and Tilly. Wait first. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai you're up. Yeah, you actually have a helper. Is that one? Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonai Kadosh Shemo. Gadlul Adonai Iti Leo. Dress. Okay, you're undressing at school. Okay, Sam, explain what he's done. Okay. Sorry. Gadlul Adonai Iti Uvenor Mama Shemo Yachdav. Lecha Adonai Hagdolah V'Hagibura V'Hatiferet V'Hanetzach V'Hod Ki Kol B'Shamayim U'Ba'aretz Lecha Adonai Hamalcha V'Mitnaseh L'Chol L'Rosh. Okay. Please be seated while we continue with this. Okay. Well-oiled machine, that's what we are here. Well-oiled machine. You doing the blessing, son? Yeah, go for it. You know what? Go for it. Okay. Saves me making a mistake.
Baruch et Adonai Hamuah.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam V'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamuah Le'olam V'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher b'cha bani v'kol hayomim v'natan lani et hatorato. Baruch atah Adonai v'ten hatorah.
Sorry. Today's portion is Vayigash. It's the entire portion is Bereshit, chapters 44, verse 18 to 47, 27. I'm not reading that much. I'm reading 45, 8 to 45, 18. Any of you waiting for me to read the wrong bit? I found it earlier on with the help of Dominique, so all is good. V'ata lo etem shalachtem et oti hinei ki Elohim v'yishmeinu la'av la'faro v'la'adon l'kol beito umishal b'chol eretz Mitzrayim hero v'alo el avi v'amartem alav ka amar benecha Yosef shemini Elohim la'adon l'kol Mitzrayim reda elai el ha'amad v'yishavta ba'aretz Goshen v'aita karov alai אתה בניך ובני בניך וצאניך ובקריך ובכל אשר לך וכלכלתי איתך שם כי עוד 5 שנים רעב פן תורש אתה וביתך וכל אשר לך והנה ענייניכם ראו וענייני אחי בנימין כפי המדבר עליכם והגדתם להביא את כל כבודי במצרים ואת כל אשר ראיתם ומהרתם והורדתם את אבי הנה יפול על צווארי בנימין אחיו וביבך ובנימין בכה אל צוואריו ינשך לכל אחיו ויבך עליהם ואחרי כן דיברו אחיו אתו והכל נשמעה בית פרעה לאמור באו אחי יוסף ויתב בעיני פרעה בענייני עבודיו ויאמר פרעה אל יוסף אמר אל אחיך זאת עשו מען את בערכם ולכו באו ארצה כנען וקחו את אביכם ואת ביתיכם ובואו עלי ואתנה לכם את טוב ארץ מצרים ואכלו את Chalav ha'aretz.
Ruach atá Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hashem ha'alani Torah Emet l'chayim Olam l'tein Kenu Ruach atá Adonai Eloheinu Torah.
Oh yeah, that's it. Lose my space. Okay. So we're still in Bereshit, and we're getting towards the end. We've one more week of Bereshit before we move on to Shemot, and Jonah knows all about that. So we're still at the very start. This portion starts with Judah begging Joseph not to hold their brother Benjamin hostage, but to take him instead. And it finishes with the explanation with how Joseph ensured that all the land and chattels of Egypt came into state ownership. Somewhere in the middle there are 20 verses listing the names of Jacob's family who joined him in his migration to Egypt. I decided not to read that section. The section I read today, Joseph explains that it was not his brothers who sold him into slavery, which resulted in his ending up in Egypt, but it was all part of God's ineffable plan. This is an interesting take and does completely absolve them of any guilt. But in this, I think Joseph is wrong. 10 of his brothers were all planning on killing him, and it was only thanks to Reuben's intervention that he was instead cast into a pit before being sold to slavery. Regardless, Joseph feels that despite his brothers' hatred and actions towards him, and apparently they had good reason, as he brought evil report of them unto his father. And as my children would say, snitches get stitches. But Joseph is willing to overlook this and forgive them for this playful sibling rivalry. Once Joseph has dropped the metaphorical bombshell on his brothers, telling him that he is alive and in a position of power, he invites them to bring his father and their families to Egypt. He mentions that there's another 5 years of famine still in the offing. Pharaoh's reiteration of the invitation, and he promises that they will receive from him good land, that they may prosper and eat chalav ha'aretz, the milk of the land. And it's made, Pharaoh's invitation is made due to his recognition of the good that Joseph has done for Egypt. This is possibly the first recorded example of a H-1B visa. Nobody's following the US news. Despite the many changes that Joseph has undergone, from going from favoured son to slave to father to Pharaoh, he is still prone to some egotistical bragging when he asks his brothers to tell my father of all my glory in Egypt. On their return, Jacob is initially disbelieving when told of Joseph's miraculous resurrection. But upon seeing the wagon Joseph sent to carry him back, he believes. Throughout the Torah, there seems to be a battle for belief. On the one hand, we have a God who insists on utter faith and obedience from Abraham and the children of Israel. On the other hand, God provides miracles when needed to bolster this faith, despite insisting that he himself, they, cannot be seen or felt. Miracles abound, but for the children of Israel, seeing is definitely believing, and even then, it's not always enough. Even then, we, question everything. It was less than one generation from seeing the 10 plagues and being rescued from Egypt, the ongoing provision of manna and water in the desert, to the children of Israel declaring that they needed a physical God to worship. Golden Calf Gate. But now, when there are no miracles, From where does our faith come? Answers on a postcard in 14 words or less to From where does our faith come at kls.org. But back to Joseph. Pharaoh invites the entirety of his family to Egypt during a time of famine. Why? One suggestion is that he has seen what one son of Jacob can organise and can only assume that an additional 11 will have his kingdom become an economic powerhouse of the region. And in reality, isn't that why Jews have always been accepted into other countries? For the economic benefits that we bring, either in the past through money lending and commerce trading, or more recently in advances in science, medicine and technology. Jews officially arrived in Britain with William the Conqueror, as he wished to introduce a merchant class to the country that would deal in coin rather than barter, the better for him to pay off his war loans. This came at a cost, and despite their apparent freedom, they were in fact owned by the crown, who would regularly use them to raise funds. By the 13th century CE, as Jews were owed more and more money from nobles, they were expelled. This was a constant happenstance throughout Europe and continued for centuries as Jews were forced to move or accept harsher and harsher living conditions. Fast forward to modernity, of course, and this could never happen in any Western country. Australia bans Jews from entering. Sorry, I meant Israelis, but I'm waiting to see what the Australian Border Control will do when an Arab from Israel attempts to enter. Ireland, recently, following the closure of the Israeli embassy due to the systemic anti-Semitism of the government, decided to double down, and the annual Happy Hanukkah message came not from the President, not from the Prime Minister, not from the Deputy Prime Minister, but from the Department of Foreign Affairs, suggesting that Irish Jews, who've been living there for over 200 years, are in fact foreigners. And to put this into perspective, the President of Ireland has tweeted an end of Ramadan message annually since his election. Last week, we gathered here to celebrate what is arguably one of the main Zionist Jewish festivals. To remember when the indigenous Jews of Judea won a military victory over the colonial Greek Empire. But if you look at any of the posts or articles about Hanukkah, it is the Festival of Lights, a festival of hope. Hope for what, I ask? A Jewish Christmas. How can we battle the ignorance if we fail to accept our own history and religion? We joke that Jewish festivals can be summarised as they tried to kill us, they failed, let's eat. But in reality, Purim was an attempted genocide of the Jewish people, following an attempt to forcibly convert Jews because our customs were incompatible with those of the ruling majority. Pesach, another attempt to destroy the Jewish community, even before we were known as Jews, by killing all male children. This at a time when ethnicity and race came from the patriarchal line. Pesach, obviously, the leaving of Egypt, which we mention every Shabbat, remembering when we left Egypt to go back to the land of Israel. Some of the minor festivals, Tzom Gedalia, it remembers the assassination of the governor of Judea and the resulting loss of autonomy under the Babylonian Empire. Tisha B'Av, a remembrance of the destruction of not one but two temples in Jerusalem, 650 years apart. And even our harvest festivals, Pesach, Shavuot and Sukkot, can be considered Zionist as well, because they relate to the harvest times in Israel, not Poland, not Brooklyn, or anywhere else. And are remembering them as times where we would journey to the temple in Jerusalem. As we start 2025, I wish you all a Shana Tova. May this year be a good year. I remind you that ignorance can come in many forms, including denying the foundation blocks upon which our own faith and religion are built. Okay. Sorry, and if we can now turn to page 480. 484. Okay. Sam, can you come back up and help me with this, please? And Leo, can you come back up and help dress it as well? Okay, sorry. Yeah, can you sit with it? Sit over there. Okay. No, we take this first. Okay. Bring that over. Sorry, yes, if we can all please stand. Not the cover. Well-oiled machine. So this one, Leo. Okay. Tillian Abbey. Okay. Eternal God, whose dominion embraces the universe, we ask your blessing for our sovereign Lord, King Charles III, and all the royal family, for those who govern our country and all who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of your responsibility and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will. May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, so that it may be a force for righteousness and peace in the life of humanity. Eternal God, as you blessed our ancestors in generations past, bless now this congregation, its leaders and its members, and all who enter the synagogue to meet, to study, and to pray. Comfort the sorrowing hearts among us, and heal those in anxiety or pain. May we all find here community and friendship, renewal of purpose and hope, a deeper understanding of our heritage, and a sense of your abiding presence. Bless all congregations of the House of Israel throughout the world. Let those who live under oppressive rule soon be freed, and may we all unite to witness to your truth and to your will. Eternal God, our rock and redeemer, grant blessing to the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream and to be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land for the benefit of all its inhabitants, and to implement the prophetic ideals of liberty and justice. May they live in harmony with one another and in peace with their neighbours, and cause to come true once more the ancient vision that out of Zion shall go forth Torah and the word of God from Jerusalem. Page 489. Ki lecha tov natati lechem torati al ta'ozvu etz chaim hi lamaxikim bo v'tamecha ma'asher derechet darchi na'am b'chol netivecha shalom Ashvienu Adonai Elohecha l'nashuva chadesh yemenu kekedem. Please remain standing while we turn to page 520 for the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורר עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, ידעת היום השבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת עינות. Please be seated. Okay. Announcements before. Thank you. Okay. So if you'll all read with me on page 521. Trusting in you, eternal God, we hope soon to behold the glory of your might, when false gods will vanish from our hearts and idolatry cease forever. Help us to perfect the world by bringing it under your unchallenged rule, when all will invoke your name, relinquish evil, and turn to you alone. May all who dwell on earth come to know that to you every knee must bend and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you let them humble themselves, and to your glorious name let them give honour. Let all submit to your sovereign rule. May that time come soon and last forever. Ultimate sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory. As it is written, the Eternal One shall reign forever. Emar v'haya Adonai lamelech al kol haaretz bayom ha'u yeh Adonai echad u'shamo echad. As we worship before you, O God, we think of those who once shared with us the joys and burdens of life and who are no longer in our midst. This week we specifically remember Russell Burnt, grandmother of Tina Higgins, and David Dombey, husband of Brenda Dombey. The sorrow of bereavement is softened by the bond of love which continues to unite us with our dear ones, and by our cherished memories of them, which we will always carry in our hearts. May all that was good in their lives remain with us as an influence for good. O God, grant consolation to those who are in sorrow and light to those in darkness. Teach us at all times to put our trust in you and to praise your name. And can we please rise and together recite the Kaddish on page 524. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah bi'alma divrei kirutei yimlich malchutei v'chayachon uv'eichon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael v'agala bazman karif yimru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mivarach le'alma maya maya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitruman v'yitnaseh v'tadar v'taleh v'talal shmet k'sha berichu le'la mikol brachta v'shurta ushbachata v'nechmata da'maran ba'alma v'yirmu amen. Yehei shalma rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael yirmu amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol b'nei adam yirmu amen. Announcements?
Well, first, a big thank you to Russell for leading us this morning, and to all his helpers. Lovely to see you all helping. And to Robin, who is our live stream operator this morning. So, coming up next Friday is a Shabbat at home at Sarah's. It's off in Staines, so if you're in that sort of area, then that's an opportunity for you to meet up together. Next Saturday, it's a regular service with Rabbi Lev, but afterwards we have a tea and Torah. We have journalist and author Rachel Sharby come to speak to us, so well worth staying on for that. There's lots and lots planned for this year. You can read the bulletin and see all what's coming up, and make a note in your diary.
I will just add to that. In 2 weeks, you should all come along and hear Jonah read from the Torah much better than I did. In 3 weeks, you can come along and hear Rebecca read from the Torah much better than I did. And in 5 weeks, you can come along and hear Cassie read from the Torah much better than I did. So lots of B'nai Bar Bat Mitzvahs happening in the next couple of weeks. So please come along and support the younger generation, so that they will be able to soon replace me up here. Sooner the better, Sam. The sooner the better. Okay. And we are going to finish with, let's go with Ein Keloheinu on page 528. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadoneinu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kamoshienu, Mi Keloheinu, Mi Kadoneinu, Mi Kemalkeinu, Mi Kamoshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adoneinu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adoneinu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adoneinu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Lamoshienu. And please stand for the concluding benediction. Yivarechecha b'chol tov u'mshmerecha mechol ra, v'yir levacha sheb'chol chayim, v'yachunacha b'da'at olamim, v'yisa p'nei chastav l'chol l'shalom olamim. May God bless you with all good and keep you from all evil. May God teach your heart the meaning of life and grant you knowledge of the infinite. May God reach out to you with tenderness that you may have everlasting enduring peace. Shabbat Shalom.